Eli Raps, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the revival.
What is up, everybody? It's the Freakin' Friday show. It's your boy, Mr. Glass Half Full of New York Revival. That's right, everybody. Yes, that's the new merch that's out there. You have the link. I'll send it to you again if you guys need it. But listen, I'm glad that you guys are here on this special Freakin' Friday because we are joined here by a very special Rangers guest. He's got one of the hottest hockey podcasts in the nation, in the world, maybe in the world. And I'm truly happy that this guy he comes and joins me every year around this time. It's the All-Star break. We like to get everybody filled in on how the Rangers are doing. I'm going to bring him in, none other than Ryan Mead.
Wow, how nice. What an amazing intro. It's a podcast, which means I'm a total loser, but I'm happy to talk about the Rangers.
Yo, don't sell yourself short, man. You guys do awesome work, man. You and Greg, and you listen, you've been grinding for a long time, and the Rangers are starting to get hot again. And it must feel good. Like you went through some darker times. Actually, you did go through that darker times.
We did do 6 months of COVID, no podcast. So yeah, there were dark times.
True.
On top of that, there were Lee Stepniak days and players you've never even dreamed of covering. But I will say, like,
times out.
Yeah, you say like the Rangers are in a good time. I'll be honest. I think this year, if you ask a lot of Ranger fans, like hasn't had the same magic.
No,
the last 2 years have.
No, and I want to get into that. Let's get into it right away.
Sure.
So let's talk about that. I had you on last year.
Mm-hmm.
At this time last year, they were still kind of finding their way, but it doesn't feel the same right now. And I don't know why. They're in third place in the Metro. They're sitting at a pretty decent spot. Give me a contrast to what last year was and what this year was, and why do we feel a little weirder right now?
It's hard to describe, but last year, and it's even hard to imagine. Last year, when you go into the season as a Ranger fan, you're kind of hoping, okay, like 5th or 4th is a really good result for us. Then by January 10th, they're the first in the Metro. They're competing with Carolina. Igor Shesterkin's having one of the best goalie seasons of all time, and everything's going right. So your expectations were low, and they were all exceeded. Then they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And of course, there are some horror show moments from that Eastern Conference Finals where the Rangers are up 2-0. They are up 2-0 and 2. They're up 2-0 and 2-0 in Game 3.
Yeah,
and Barclay Goodrow goes wide on like a pretty much guaranteed goal to make them 3-0. Tampa Bay Lightning come back and lose in terrible fashion, and the Rangers had a hard time. I don't know if they would have beat the Avalanche, but you'd always want to take your chances. And
right.
Ryan Strome was skating with like a broken hip and all that stuff. Anyway, you get to this season. You have expectations now. The steps need to go forward. Chris Drury goes out in the offseason and signs Vincent Trocheck, as he sees as like the final piece, something that we, as most fans, didn't expect. Greg and I specifically expected like them not to sign anybody and give Filipino the playing time he deserved at 2C. Nothing wrong with Trocheck, hasn't fit in this year, but there's been like a lot of chemistry issues on the team. There hasn't been like a solid lineup.
I'll take it.
Welcome to what I do. And Gerard Gallant has been questionable coaching at best, almost fired earlier in the season. And we head into the All-Star break, 3rd in the Metro. I think they won like 14 of their last, 20 games. They've been red hot. Things are good, but things also don't feel great at the same time. That's as good as I can describe it.
You're right, man. It just doesn't feel the same. And you're right. I think what it has to do is last year we were kind of like happy to be here. Like everything was a playing with house money kind of deal. And then this year everything's elevated because we expected same Shesty, Igor from last year. And we'll get into that. I want to talk about what that little bit of a step back, which to be expected. Obviously, that was an all-time season last year, and then we expected all the young guys, the kid line, to just naturally progress. The Keandre Miller to progress. Everybody. And it just and I want to talk about one of the guys that hasn't progressed, namely,
we'll get to Lafreniere.
I mean, but like so, and that's what it is, man. And now Gallant, I was calling for his head early in the season. Now it's too late. They're in 3rd place. They're in the middle of the playoff push. He's not going anywhere.
He's going to stay.
Yeah. So it is what it is. He messes with the lines. He angers the shit at me sometimes, but he is what he is, and this is what we're stuck with. So let's think about what we're gonna do next, because the Rangers didn't become the Eastern Conference Final Rangers until the trade deadline, and they picked up guys that weren't even on our radar. Vetrano.
But again, if you want to get right into that right now,
yeah.
There are a lot of rumors that go out there with like a Patrick Kane, which has been linked to the Rangers for 2 years. It's kind of an unspoken truth that he likely needs hip surgery in the offseason.
Yes.
There are some people defending him, saying like he's going to be bad defensively, but he still could be that same Patrick Kane in the offensive zone. I've never been a pro Kane guy. Anything off the ice aside, like I just don't. The statistics and analytics haven't been there from him this year. I know how dynamic he can be as a player, but it doesn't make sense. The Rangers need right wingers, but that's not the case. Timo Meier, unfortunately, and I know the Rangers are heavy linked to him. I think making his salary work for this year would be doable for the Rangers, but they would need to. There's no chance they can re-sign him. Like they would have to trade Barclay Goodrow and like trade one of Hedel or Kakko and maybe like that's the case. Timo Meier is that, and if you think you are ready to win a cup in the next 2 years, of which Chris Drury has declared with Trocheck, maybe that's the case. But I think you're more likely to see at this trade deadline the Rangers go out and add someone like a Frank Vetrano type. Barbashev is a name I heard from CBJ like a bunch. I do think they'll go out and get it's going to be crazy when Justin Braun and Tyler Mott. Braun just signed an extension with the Flyers, so it's not happening. Sorry, but Mott is like on the table. Like he fits perfectly, and he might end up coming back. So
agreed.
But they'll look for a left-handed defenseman, because if Ben Harper just like he needs some competition, he's not the best player ever. He's statistically great story. Amazing. Like I always say this about Ben Harper, great guy. Like great locker room guy. But analytically, if you look at charts at all, he's a bunch of red bars, which means he's bad. And but he's been gritty, and he's quite frankly very big, which is scary for opponents.
I know.
So they'll need to replace him. So I expect Drury to go out and try and get 3 pieces at the trade deadline, a couple third and fourth rounders, fifth rounders, and add to the depth of the team. And hope your superstars can carry you, because you do have a bunch.
Yeah, listen, I mean, let's speak about one of the superstars that, Panarin. What's your thoughts on what he's been doing this year? Give me your overall sense of what he's been doing in this season. Because up and down for me,
Panarin gets too much hate, in my opinion. There's reasons for that. Part of it is because Panarin plays a certain style of hockey. And one of the things that David Quinn did really well, maybe one of the only things David Quinn did really well, was that he allowed the stars and the vets to go out and play their brand. Gallant does a similar thing, but he also has structure in terms of like two-way defense. Like that's why Panarin, you'll see him joking about like, look, I back check now. Look, I'm doing what you told me, coach. And it's a shot at Gallant and the coaching staff more than it is anything else. He does have, his game has taken a step back, but he also has like a bunch of quiet 3-point games where he just absolutely dominates through passing and his play. He's that good. I get why people could be like, he's not worth this money. He was never going to be that producer. His game is going to age gracefully. He'll probably play just like this over the next couple of years. It's just
it's not a physical game, right? Like it's he does what he does.
He does what he does. He's incredible. But he's also missed. He has no chemistry this year with any player on the team. And that's kind of a part of him. Mika Zibanejad said this week in a quote, like, look, Panarin and I we don't really have chemistry. Like we're working it out. Every time we've had the chance to do this, it's kind of been short-lived. And I agree with Mika Zibanejad. Like they've never had really the shot. He's played with Ryan Strome,
guy, right? Yeah,
Strome was his guy. Like Strome was not only just his guy, Strome was literally his personal driver. And I'm not kidding. Would literally pick him up from his house to go to practice. And then also because of the Russia incidents, most likely Artemi Panarin has a Nokia burner phone. And then from there, Strome was also here's what's happening in the group text guy. So there's a quote I always remember from Artemi Panarin that says like, you guys think Ryan Strome is here, and I think Ryan Strome is here. Like, I think he's a superstar. Now, that's because he loved him, and I get that. But I was a pro Strome guy, which is a very hot take in Ranger realm, because of all the goals.
The misnets.
Yeah, and for a lot of good reasons. Like I get why people would be pissed off. Like he also was skating injured and gave his all to the team.
Right. Right.
And I think I would have rather had Strome's contract than Trocheck's contract. I think Trocheck is the better player. Strome is the better fit, and that's kind of how I've always felt. And I think Panarin feels the same way to round this all about.
Right. Strome brought that thing that you can't quantify, and it's like that glue guy. You know, he brought that team together. Panarin had the chemistry. You can't put a number on chemistry, you know, and you can. They worked well together. Like literally, the numbers were better. Yeah, it's tough, man. And like now, it's like, what do you do? Do you bring Heidel up? Do you move? Where do you put Trocheck right now? And that's why I hear what you're saying about Kane. Something in me says, like, you know, when he gets to Broadway, the lights turn on. He gives it his last go, you know, and maybe he gets something with Trocheck going.
You can't really give it your last go when you have you need hip surgery. Like we watched,
I know.
One of the reasons Panarin stunk it up in the offseason, in the playoffs last year, is because his line mate, who he cares about a lot, Ryan Strome, like had a groin injury so bad it required surgery. It was like the guy couldn't skate at all, and we were still flaming him.
Is this like known that like he has to get surgery, or is it one of those things where it's like, you know, I'm on this bad team in the Blackhawks right now, and I can get it, kind of forcing his way out a little bit.
All real insiders, of which there are 0 in the NHL, are reporting that it's an open secret that he needs surgery. So if the Rangers can get him for like the dummy cheap, like even then, I don't know. I think they'd rather use the money elsewhere. Like I'm not putting it at 0%, but I'd have it like in the 1 to 5 range.
Fair. Okay, so let's talk about trade deadline. Who's bringing these people in? Grade B, grade jury season right now. Sure. If you had pre-deadline, what do you grade it?
I think Chris Drury, since signing his initial signings, which were absolutely miserable moves, I'll stick by this. We've reported this in the past, and it's never been like debunked or anything. But I am convinced myself personally, and I say reported, like, but this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
That they believed they had Jack Eichel in the bag, and that's why they traded Buchnevich to St. Louis. Like I've heard stories that have said that when the St. Louis GM got the call, he literally hung up and was like, I think I have to take this deal. I have to take, like, this is stupid. Like he didn't even want Buchnevich, but like to trade for a Sammy Blais, and then the contract he was able to negotiate with Buchnevich and his agent, like at that price, it's like just a no-brainer for him. So I truly believe that Jack Eichel was going to be a New York Ranger until Pagula sat on that. That being said, he also gave Goodrow like a 6-year contract. And I think the Nemeth contract was pretty bad. Since that moment, everything else has been roses. I mean, the trade he made for Georgiev, he got 3 picks for. There's no way he should have done that.
No.
He's very stubborn. Last year's trade deadline was an A+. He got a first for Niels. Shouldn't have gotten that. Niels, kind of also an open secret that he asked out. Like didn't request the trade demands, like, but has got a first for him in a very deep draft. That is awesome. Like if Chris Drury, like if you ask for a grade, like A-, A, like I don't like the Trocheck signing. I think it was bad foresight, but I also can't blame him because his job is to win a Stanley Cup. He works under James Dolan. James Dolan wants to win a Stanley Cup. And if you see your team, you think you're 1 center away from making a real push. The unfortunate part is just so far, Vincent Trocheck has played like a Hurricane, not a Ranger.
Right. Fair. And listen, it again goes back to the chemistry thing. He hasn't found chemistry with anybody. Nope. And Aaron hasn't found chemistry with anybody.
Well, Trocheck has actually found chemistry. It's just only been with Chris Kreider. So that's that's part of the issue. Like when he plays with Chris Kreider, a north-south player, the Hurricane style, he can really, really show his talents. That's the problem, is that Mika Zibanejad also plays really well with Chris Kreider. And we have 3 left wings. So it's like, is Trocheck, Lafreniere, and VC a good idea? Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. So that's where there's no good fit for the team right now. They need another right winger in the worst way.
It's a tough puzzle right now. And again, that's why last trade deadline, again, you didn't see those names coming, but they fit perfectly. And Drury has a mind for this. So I'm keeping an open mind here. I'm hoping he's going to get the right pieces that he knows that he could fit in there. You put someone with Kreider, you knock down VC, hopefully the 4th line, maybe make that a really good 4th line. Keep the kids together, and let's talk about the kids.
Yeah,
let's talk about a guy we talked about a little bit before, the children. Laffy, Laffy's getting all right. So what do you make of this little 4-game stretch here? Is it something he can build on? Is it a mirage?
It's not
Give us
him.
your Laffy thoughts.
That's the thing. It's not Lafreniere.
Yeah.
You can see the one thing that really bothers me about Lafreniere, and I like a lot about what his game is. Of course, you expect way more from the first overall pick. Like, I don't need to explain that to anybody. The one thing I really like about his game is his passing ability and his ability to play make. And he's able to really show that with Hito and Kako. But Hito and Kako have become different players this year, both of them. Hito has led the Rangers in scoring in January. And despite Kako's point total, the kid is a monster. He is a two-way winger that can produce. Like, he has no time on the power play. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, he gets power play too. I don't care.
That is bullshit. Yeah,
it's total bullshit. And he should be him or Hedel should be on that power play. That's another story.
The lot thing where you want to just,
he's fiercely loyal to Vincent Trocheck. It was his guy in Florida. It's his guy now. And in this case, the kids have you've seen it. They dominated the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lost that game. Every single game that they've played since in these last 4 stretch, like, they've been the best line for the New York Rangers. It's just been case in fact. And if that can stay, we still capitalize this going on to the playoffs, then you have to get your other 2 lines going. And it's really not on the kids. The end all be all is this. If the Rangers children advance in the way we all hope they can, the Rangers can win a Stanley Cup in the next 2 years. They can. You have all the ingredients are there. You have a top center, check, because Zibanejad is a top center. You have the best goalie in the league when he's on right, Igor Shesterkin. He's still top 3 goalie right now. Great.
Yes.
You legitimately have the best defenseman in the league, and you probably have the best young defensive core in the league, if not for the Avalanche, and you can still make a case for the Rangers. So you've got it all. And if these children hit, that's it. Like, you can win it. But there's
they can keep these children too.
They will make it work in the offseason, and people are going to get squeezed. I've seen enough information now that that's the case.
Okay.
It's if they want to go out and make a splash for Timo Meier or a player like that, then one of the children, for lack of a better term, will be sacrificed to the gods.
Yeah. Listen, it makes sense. And this is the fine line that Drury has to play. I don't envy the spot he's in, man. He's got zero room to work with. But you have to win a cup, but you have to develop these young guys too. Another young guy, Miller.
Famous quote from Gerard Gallant: "I don't develop, I win games." So
that's the truth. It's the truth, man. And we got Miller, another guy. Great his season. How is he coming along in your eyes?
I think Miller is number 4 in terms of the most important Rangers currently. He is taking a step offensively, even though he was a forward. I think no one really expected. Again, no time on power play too, but he doesn't really score normal goals. That's kind of the joke. He only scores bangers. That's all he does. But on top of that, like, I think the one thing that kind of gets overlooked with Keandre Miller is, well, first of all, how fucking cool he is. And second of all, he's amazing. And second of all, he's been on that second line pairing since the day he got here. He's never been shifted. Like every other player, with the exception of Adam Fox. Adam Fox was first pairing defensive player the day he got here. It happened right away. And then the same thing happened to Keandre. Second pair, left-handed defenseman, has not gone off that spot since the day he got here. Has had some up and downs, but honestly, it's mostly ups now. He's one of the best poke check players in the league.
Such length, dude. Such length. The best.
He can catch you in 2 strides.
Right.
And he'll catch up to you and play you. So the Rangers are really lucky to have him. And if they can have him and Fox and even Lindgren, who, by the way, I don't know if you I'll quiz you. How old is Ryan Lindgren?
Give me 27.
Yeah, he's 24. So
wow. Dude, it feels like he's been a Ranger for about 8 years.
That's my point. So my point is, like, the Ryan Lindgren and Adam Fox both, like, they were roommates. They're both 24. Like, Keandre Miller's 21. Let me repeat that. Keandre Miller is 21. Ridiculous. Brady Schneider is 22. I mean 20. I'm sorry. And Jacob True is only. Like,
can't even drink.
Like they are all children, and they are playing defense at a high level. So if the development continues, the Rangers have a great shot at winning a cup. It's just the cap is going to end it all for them.
My God. And this damn cap, and I'm telling you, it's the reason why ratings suck. It's the reason why hockey can't really push through that glass ceiling right now, because you're making people shift where you're breaking teams apart. I hate it. Anyways, that's another that's for
I hate the
another
salary cap too.
topic.
So-
Oh, it's for another topic. Gary Bettman's got to figure this shit out. Anyway, listen, the East. It's again an absolute juggernaut. You know, Boston, Toronto are lighting up. You know, Carolina running away with the division. Devils. Will the Rangers pass the Devils? Are the Devils for real? What are we doing with them?
Devils are super for real, and the one thing you have to be super scared about is if and when they get Timo Meier, and that's the problem. Timo is really close to multiple players on the team. There's been reports like he's on vacation with them, the Swiss connections with Nico. And if Timo Meier becomes a Devil, the Metro is really tough. It doesn't mean like the Devils are unbeatable. They're a young team. They're super talented. Jesper Bratt still hasn't signed his long-term extension. That's something to look out for. And maybe something the Devils are trying to figure out, like, hey, if Bratt leaves, can we get Timo to stay instead? For that connection, because maybe Bratt wants to go elsewhere, and I wouldn't. Whatever. Maybe Bratt wants to be the star on his team, and Jack Hughes is the star. Unfortunately, Jack Hughes is really freaking good. And every single time I try and badmouth him, the guy is
he just lights it up.
Just lights it up, man. He's sickeningly good. I'm sure you saw the Gretzky quote today. It was like the only person that can catch Connor McDavid is Jack Hughes, which like makes me sick to my stomach.
It really does.
So the Devils are a real threat. I think they'll be around, but in a playoff series, and you know this, and so does everybody else listening, the playoffs are way different than the regular season. It's the same way in the NBA. It's the same way in the NHL and in the NFL. And a goalie can really turn it around for you. So I'm not like, there's only one team I'm scared to play in the playoffs, and that's the Bruins.
Yeah.
For like a million reasons.
They're a freight train right now.
Yeah, but like if you go down like the East, I think every East team is better than the West right now. Like if you were like power ranking, I think like maybe just the Avalanche, if they're super healthy, would be the only scary team. But everyone else, they're better. But in terms of like ways, teams I'm scared about, it's just the Boston Bruins, and every other thing is kind of like a coin flip. It's like, hey, can Igor beat this team? I think he can. Where do we go from there?
Does Igor reach? So does Igor have it in him to reach that God status, or is it dependent on the defense picking their shit up? What do you got
Igor, on that? In his like goals above expected. I'm not a stats guy. I don't care. But
we're not stats guys here.
Cool. He was at like 15, and now he's at like 6, I think.
Right.
He's really picked it up over the past couple of months. He's been the Igor you expect, and he knows like when he's not playing well. You can even see it in his confidence. He started to move it. Yeah, you could see it. Like he's passing the puck more. He's playing the puck more.
Shooting pucks on net.
Yeah, and he's in the slap shot competition in Vegas.
I love that.
Or sorry, Florida. And Igor is. I wouldn't say he's fully back. Like it's almost impossible to replicate a season as to what he did. Expecting that was ludicrous. Yeah. But he is Igor Shesterkin. He's got plenty of great years ahead of him, and that's another contract that the Rangers will have to pay out in a couple of years.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, listen, and that's again, this season was crazy because, again, the casual fan comes in, knows what Igor did last year, expects the same, expects the young guys to grow at this level. It's not, everything's not linear. Everything's not going to grow at the same time. Everything's not going to just be, build off of last year. It's been an up and down, so it is what it is. But I as currently constructed, where do you put the Rangers for chances to compete to get back to where they were last year as currently constructed?
It's probably a failure if they don't get back to these conference finals. It's not fair, but that's just the way sports are. I think they could compete with any team except the Bruins. I could see them beating the Leafs. I could see them beating. I'm not scared of Pittsburgh right now. I think they could beat Washington. I think they've proven they can beat the Carolina Hurricanes, especially now that they don't have Max Pacioretty for the rest of the season after tearing his Achilles again on the same foot. I believe that sucks a lot. I think what the second scariest team for the Rangers is the Devils, and part of that's just the pressure that gets put on. I don't actually see the Islanders coming back into it either, even after the Bo Horvat trade.
Yeah,
they're too far behind, and they really have to rip it off, and it takes a while to get comfortable.
How do you like that trade, by the way?
I actually like it for both sides. I think a lot of Islander fans will tell you, or a lot of other fans will tell you that like that's not what they should be doing. I think they've already mishandled their cup window enough where it was like, maybe we go in and we can get Bo Horvat
Right.
And like this is Bo Horvat's best year ever. He's usually like a 60-point center. It's not that maybe not who he is, and that's not, but they gave away very little, in my opinion. It's just if they extend him, it's like, okay, what's our core again?
Yeah, right.
What do we do?
Exactly.
What are we doing? So, but they do have
They're
Sorokin.
half in, half out, you know?
Yeah. And Sorokin is like, he's best friends with Igor. Igor's like the child's godfather, and he's just as sick as him. He's like, he's very, very good. He just can't play the puck the same way, but he's a better defensive style goalie.
100%. Hey, so listen, we said it all, you know, we got the update. You know, I guess again, it all depends on what we do. I want to ask one more question about the Rangers, and then we'll talk about this weekend for a little bit, and I'll let you go. But in your mind, the most important Ranger for this second half to get back to this like cup contender level,
you're gonna love this
the most. And we're not talking about Igor. Like, cancel out Igor. Somebody other than him.
You're gonna love this answer. The answer is health. The health, because the Rangers have missed the fewest games in the league at 32 total misses for games lost this season, and health has been on the Rangers' side. So if you want the Rangers to go, like, you need injury luck and history. Like, you want the real answer. The real answer is like Adam Fox continues to be Norris, whatever caliber player. That's so boring. But
I don't want that.
But the real answer is the Rangers have had incredible health luck, totally insane. And if they need to keep that going, and don't think that this team doesn't know, like, they just have to get in the tournament. They don't really care where they finish. And that's what sucks partially about the NHL. The playoff system is so bad that like where like they're so fine finishing third or fourth. They don't care.
Right. Like they almost want to just kick it into neutral for a little bit, not sink too much, not go too high.
Yes. This team wanted to start the playoffs in October. Like, seriously. That's you could see it. Like, they were like, I can't believe we have to do this again.
Well, that's what it looked like. They checked out for about a little, like they almost like put it in cruise control, you know?
They did. Because last year they were done. They were in the playoffs by January, and this year is like, the East is good. We have to fight for it. And that's where they're at. So health is the answer. You could make a case for everybody else on the roster, but that's it.
Hey, just so you know, we have a bunch of fans over here that love you, and they are super thankful that you can bring your knowledge to the Revival, baby.
Hardly not knowledgeable.
I want to let you go, but how interested is Ryan Mead in this weekend? Do you turn on the TV? Do you just unplug?
On Sunday I'll be playing in a rec league goalie game where I will try and stop balls coming at my face, and tonight I'll be playing in a Magic the Gathering pre-release. So I think that says everything about where I'm at for NHL. I see it as
Are you gonna watch it all tonight though?
No.
Are you gonna watch it all tonight?
Here's what I'll do.
Slapshot? I
will take my phone, and when Igor's GIF of him shooting slap shots come up, I go, oh, that was really cool. And then I will put it back down. It's not that I won't follow it. I'll know if something cool happens. It's very hard for me not to know if something cool happens. But last year,
it's unplug week. It's unplug week.
It's unplug week. I got shit to do. But the only thing cool from last year was when Trevor Zegras did that, like, behind the back blindfolded shot, and then he didn't even win the competition. So it was like that's the only thing I remember. So I think
Speaking
that's
of Zegras, what are your thoughts on that little fucking tiff?
I don't know, man. I think people make a lot of big deals about everything on the internet. And I think a lot of people talk a lot of shit on the ice, and there's some unspoken rules with that. There's some lines you shouldn't cross. I don't think he crossed any from what I saw, but I wasn't there. So,
you're not John Boy Media, that lip reading, okay? You're not the pro lip reader. I get it.
I'm pro John Boy. I am. Like, he does a great job. I think he makes great content, and I happen to watch a lot of it. And I also am messy, so I like drama. So I get that, but it's not like I'm also not moral high ground guy. There are rules in sports and hockey and all that stuff where you could just like, I said that. And people can get pissed off, and like maybe you shouldn't have crossed that line, my friend. But I don't think it was like as big a deal. There were bigger deals that happened last week. Put it that way.
Yes. All right. Well, listen, we got a couple more days of break. I hope you enjoy the shit out of it. Get some catnaps in. Release from Twitter.
Yep.
And then we'll get back in it because stretch run time. Maybe it's stretch run time. Back at it.
Trade deadline's too late, in my opinion.
I know. It should have been like, we need something in February here after Super Bowl. It should have been middle of February at the very latest, right?
It's kind of crazy. Like, the guys get there and it's like, all right, playoffs start in a month. It's like, But it's like
Right.
3 weeks, and most of
100%.
these teams can't make the trades until the deadline because they have to accrue the salary. The NHL
Yeah.
is ridiculous, and not that other leagues have have had crazy trade deadlines. Like the NFL actually had one this year, but for the most part, a Kyrie
It
Irving
just
might get traded. So I guess
there's
we'll see.
so many hurdles that like that the NHL needs to clear to get to this next status, and I don't know if they can do it. But man, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan. It could be so much better.
It's super frustrating, and I think in the end, fans will win out. I don't think the fans have to. This is my last thing because I have a big rant about this. I don't think
Yeah.
fans have to worry about the NHL doing better. The NHL will be there for you, the
Yes.
fan. Like that will be that. If you like the NHL, it's around, and it's
100%.
actually better for you if it's smaller because you'll get more catered to, and you'll get better deals, and you'll get all these great things. The people who have to worry about those things are people like me who cover it because I want it to be bigger, and because
Yes.
it benefits me. And also owners who have real stakes in this, and people that work in the game. If you're a fan of hockey, like don't worry about it. Like if you enjoy the game, go enjoy the game. It's awesome. It's
Fair.
awesome to watch. It's the best live sporting event you can ever get to. Like I don't think it's actually close.
Preach.
Yeah, it's not like I can't go to NFL games anymore. I fall asleep.
100%. 100%.
So I like watching Red Zone. Red Zone's awesome. Like it's unbeatable TV. It's amazing.
There's
But on
no
top,
lies here.
yeah, it's just the best sporting event you can have. So go enjoy the games. But in terms of like worrying about how you can improve the NHL, dude, there's 600 ways, and they're not going to do any of them. So good luck.
Fair. Hey, well, listen, Ryan, I appreciate you. I kept you about a minute longer than I wanted to.
It's all good. It's all good. Appreciate it.
Get back to work over there. Listen, Ryan does this for you guys, man. He does this. We are all working our day jobs here, and we're putting out content for you guys.
Working late tonight.
So if you're a Ranger fan and you're not watching, if you're not.
We don't record our faces. Actually, this is a rare appearance for me.
You're right. You know what? And I brought him out. You get to see this beautiful face today.
Yeah,
so listen, if you're not subscribed to Blue Shirt Breakaway, go right now and do it because these guys are the best. Appreciate you for for coming on, my man.
Thanks, bud.
As always, you're the best.
Let's go Rangers, everybody. Have a good one.
Let's go Rangers. Take it easy, Ride. Hey, I hope I got all your questions in, people. That's one of the goats of Rangers Twitter. If you're not following them, follow Ryan Mead, Greg Kaplan, those guys at Blue Shirt Breakaway. They're the best. They're the best. And I hope you guys enjoyed some of that content because listen, the Rangers brought us through the first couple of months of revival, and they brought us to Eastern Conference Finals, and it was one of the funnest moments and times of our lives. We had a great time. We brought hockey to a bunch of people that didn't watch hockey that follow Revival. So I hope we could do that again for you guys. And I hope to get some more Ranger content if you guys are interested. I'm gonna bring some people on. We're gonna talk hockey, and follow the Rangers because they're damn good. They're right in the thick of things again. They are. Once MSG gets popping, man, and right now the Knicks are in the playoffs too. Knicks and Rangers in the playoffs, it's not going to get much better than that. It comes springtime. So I hope you guys are following us. I hope you guys are liking the content that we do. But again, let's end the Freakin Friday show talking some other sports. The Nets, our boy Kyrie Irving, just requested a trade. The mercurial Kyrie Irving. I say our boy, but he's not really my boy. I listen. I love the kid. He's a Jersey kid. I wanted Kyrie to come to the Nets to save the Nets, and he came to the Nets, and he's been nothing but a thorn in their side, and it's just too much shit in the news. And I, for one, I'm up to here. They didn't reach a contract extension, so Kyrie wants out now. He's requested a trade from the team that's sitting in fourth place currently in the East without Kevin Durant for the past month. Kyrie Irving wants out. You know what? So at this point, as a casual net fan that I am, you know what? Let's just if it blows up after trading him, it blows up. But you can only go so far with I want in, I want out, I want in, I want out, and all the other shit that goes to Kyrie. I'm about done with it, man. And I know there's some Net fans that want to keep him because once you get rid of Kyrie, Durant's probably not that close following him out the door, and then it's like folding up shot on any championship hopes that you had. I don't give a shit, quite honestly. I think this team needs a reset. I think that the combination, the chemistry is just never there. It was never working, and I don't think it ever will be. So get your best offer if you can, but don't give him away for free. Get the best offer. You make him sit his ass on the bench, and you go back to the well. You go back to the well at the end of the season. So that's talking basketball. Ship him out. Kyrie, I love you, but I'm done with you, man. I'm done with you. So that's my net talk for the day. One last thing before I let you go. Some Giants talk. Julian Love in the news nonstop because of what he said on Good Morning Football the other day about Sirianni. Let me see if I got a clip for you guys. Tell me if you guys don't see it.
He's a guy who really is doing a good job because he's not getting in the way of his team. He has an experienced roster from top to bottom, offense, defense.
You see this stuff, though? Like, what's your reaction as a player? And that guy's doing that.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, he's in for a free ride right now. You guys can coach this team, and they can succeed. That's how.
All right. So this comment set, I don't know if it's the Twitter world, but at least the Giants Twitter world on fire. People were just tripping over themselves to get after Julian Love, a guy who's been drafted by the Giants, has been nothing but a consummate pro for the franchise. We hope to have him back, but he might price himself out. People are tripping over themselves to defend Sirianni and talk about how the Eagles are the best team and we can't be talking shit. Listen, when did we become so fucking soft as a fan base and just as a city ourselves? Julian Love is our own. If he has an opinion about Sirianni, which to be fair, I don't know if he's wrong. In my opinion, I'm with Julian Love. Julian Love, I stand by you. This is a Roseman-led team. This Eagles team is a perfect roster. It's one of the best rosters in the league. And just because Julian Love has the balls to say it on TV, he doesn't think that the Sirianni is the reason why the Eagles are here. He says I think he might have went a little too far with hey, anybody could coach a team. That's fine. I think he said it in jest. But the lengths that these Giant fans go to shit on Julian Love and to go and protect the Eagles and protect kiss the boot, man, like of the Eagles and Sirianni. We don't know if Sirianni is the Giants coach. Do you think the Giants get to where they are realistically this year? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I personally don't think they will. I think you're seeing a 6-win team if Sirianni's here. Just my opinion, people. But man, it was shocking to me watching this whole fan base. And again, we are so divided as a fan base, to begin with. But it's so toxic that people just want to go sprint to go defend the Eagles. They're so everybody says, oh, they're better than us. Oh, the Eagles are better than us. You can't talk shit. Have you ever played sports in your life? Like, have you ever gone into a basketball court and played against somebody that's better than you? And what, you're not allowed to talk shit to somebody that's better than you? If that's the way you are, that's fine. That's fine. That's not the way I am. I'm gonna jab. I'm gonna talk some shit. Because what's the fun in not being able to talk shit? If they're better than you, you can't talk shit. What written rule is that? What, you can't talk shit to someone that's better than you? The Eagles are one of the best teams in the league. They're one of the best rosters in the league. If you can't talk, if you're not allowed to talk shit to a team that's better than you, then what the hell are we doing here? What the hell are we doing? I'm giving you props here. Sorry, of course, Rabbit Ears over here has come in, the Eagles fan, and she's giving me the eyes. I'm saying the Eagles have a great roster. I'm also saying I don't know if it's their coach. Is that okay? You don't. First of all, Eagles fans don't even know that he's there.
So wait a second. You're saying that you don't know if the Eagles coach is our coach?
Yeah.
So we'll find out this Super Bowl because Andy Reid fired him. So if he beats Andy Reid,
no, he didn't fire him.
Andy Reid could never get us to
Andy Reid is a goat. Let's not get into that.
Did Andy Reid get us to a win?
Doesn't matter. Listen. Listen.
Let's calm down.
So either way, first of all, Eagles fans haven't been set on this guy. So we're going to get mad that Julian Love goes out and expresses his opinion on TV. about Sirianni. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we getting so angry about our guy that's speaking his mind? And in my opinion, saying the goddamn truth. We are soft. Let this man talk his shit. You're essentially saying shut up and dribble to this guy. You're saying shut up. You don't talk shit. No, let him talk his shit. Julian Love, I stand by you. I stand by what you said. You're my guy, and I got your back, man. If nobody else has your back, I got your back. Let him talk his shit. So what? You're gonna ruffle up the Sirianni feathers? This motherfucker was yapping in the camera, going like this, like this, like this. Like he saw Sirianni disrespecting him, so he went back at him. Who cares if they're the best roster in the league? I don't give a shit. Julian Love doesn't give a shit. He spoke his mind. Let the man speak. That's all I gotta say about that shit. I'm talking my shit, and I hope you guys. I don't know what side you guys are on, but
talk your.
That's what I did. I talked my shit. Listen, I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for coming out every Friday. We talk Rangers, we talk Giants, we talk basketball. We got it all for you guys. We'll bring some entertainment too. Mr. Glass Half Full is checking out. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. No football this weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun with the family. And we'll catch you guys on Tuesday. All right? Love you guys, man. Like, stay good. Keep drinking. And the wife's here to say, yeah, I done fucked up. It's all right. It's all right.
Y la Rex, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the revival.